Hi guys, and welcome to another beautiful episode of PTC Rex. I'm so excited for today's video. Today's video is an exclusive. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it an exclusive because I'm going to be giving you guys so much power in your hands in this video today. Now, I want you to just take a look at this video right here. What do you see? You can be able to see that an agent is actually doing something for me right now. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use AI in an agentic manner. I'm not talking about the likes of ChatGPT, the likes of Claude, or the likes of Perplexity. Nah, I'm going to show you guys how to deploy your own personal AI that can actually do stuff for you. Like for instance, check my emails. Like for instance, go through my calendar, book meetings, even all the way to even having specialized agents that can do specific workflows for you. For example, you're an engineer, you're a software engineer, you're writing code. You have a sub agent that can actually write you code, deploy those codes, and send it to you for testing. All synchronized, all happen agentically and all orchestrated perfectly. So, where am I heading to with this conversation? Today, I'm going to teach you how to deploy your own OpenClaw AI agents. And I'm going to show you in 3 simple steps. Basically, building your OpenClaw infrastructure, starting your OpenClaw infrastructure, connecting it to your Telegram, as you saw in the video, the way I was controlling my agents just via Telegram, and at the same time too, setting up basic automations that you can actually just start using from the get-go. Today's video is going to be so exciting. I know you guys are going to learn so much from this video. You're going to see how AI can actually improve your workflow. Not just you asking me questions and it just throwing you answers back. You can actually use AI to actually do stuff. That's what this video is all about. I'm so excited, and I hope you guys are excited too, because today's video is an exclusive P2C with Rex. Let's get right into it. All right, guys. So, welcome. And before we begin, I just want to give you guys a brief rundown of what is OpenClaw. Right here, as you can see on my screen. What is OpenClaw? Now, OpenClaw, this is not your usual ChatGPT or Perplexity. Yeah, this is not your usual ChatGPT chatbots or your GPT chatbots that we have everywhere. This is something on another level. Now, this is what we call agentic AI. AI that can actually do things for you, not just basically giving you information. You can literally tell your OpenClaw bots to basically, okay, do some tasks like this. Let me give you an example. For instance, now, you could just tell it that, okay, I want you to go check my inbox, give me a summary. Oh, send an email to so and so. Or for instance, check my calendar, book an appointment for me, or let's dive into deeper things. You could even have sub agents that are even writing code for you, deploying applications for you. That is how powerful this application is. And all you just simply need to do is to teach it the rightful skills, and it can evolve over and over again. Now, the rule of thumb I want everybody to follow up with this video for me is to know this one very important thing. I want you to look at an AI as the student, and you that have this AI orchestration as the teacher is very important moving forward, because this is how you can be able to train AI and make it much more agentic and much more intelligent. Once you have this rule of thumb that you are the teacher, the AI is the student, the amount of knowledge you're able to teach your students, that is how good they are able to perform moving forward. So once we have this rule of thumb in place, let's move ahead. So now, for us to begin this process, you need to have one thing. First of all, you need to have where your OpenClaw is going to live. Now, you could either have your OpenClaw living in, let us say, on your own personal machine, which I will not advise. It's not advisable that you do that on a personal machine, but you could also install OpenClaw on your personal machine. But the best practice in order for you to install OpenClaw is to get yourself a VPS. Now, a VPS simply means a virtual private server. Now, there are different virtual private servers out there. If I just type out VPS on my Google Sheet right now, there's so many VPS service providers that are out there. There's Hostinger, there's InterServer, there's so many of them. Namecheap even offers VPS. All you just simply need to do is to get yourself a VPS instance. Now, once you've gotten yourself a VPS server, that is the main bulk work, because that is virtually where your OpenClaw is going to be deployed and where it's going to live. Now, once you have that done, all you simply need to do is to move over to the steps I'm going to show you right now on how you can be able to start implementing OpenClaw, installing it. So we're going to start with the first phase, which is installation of OpenClaw. So now I'm going to head over to my terminal, because that's the best way that I can have this thing all set up. So if I head over to my terminal right now, you can see I'm already connected to my VPS server. As you can see right here, I'm already logged into my VPS server with my root configuration. Once you get yourself a VPS hosting, all these details will be sent to you. And for you to just simply log into your VPS server is just as simple as putting in SSH at your roots, at the IP address, and you're good to go. I'll leave the instruction in the details of this video, just a simple template you can use to connect to your VPS via SSH. But at the same time too, your hosting provider will have that all well documented for you. You could just follow the instruction and connect to your server via terminal via SSH. All right, so now once you're connected to your VPS, now the next thing we need to do right now is to install Docker and Docker Compose plugins on your VPS. It is very important for you to do this because of Docker is basically the containerization that you're going to be using to actually install OpenClaw. Best practice, that's the way it is done. Best practice is just to use Docker to just install it. Now, Docker is just going to keep everything all isolated. You can have other apps deployed on your server in a different container, and they're all just doing their things in isolation. So it's always good to use Docker. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this command right now and put that into my VPS terminal right now. So, all right. So don't worry, every command I'm using here, I'm going to have like a full documentation. I'm going to also be adding to this video where you could see all the commands that I'm using, and you can be able to just copy, paste, and just follow the guide, and you're good to go. So now, this command right here is going to install Docker for us, and it's going to also install the Docker plugins for us to get up and running. So I just hit enter, and as you can see, that is working right now. Alright, as you can see, we have installed Docker and we have installed all the plugins in order for us to install OpenClaw. So now we have done the first important step, which is Dockerizing, installing a container where we can now install OpenClaw into the system. So now the next thing we're going to do right now, we are going to clone OpenClaw. OpenClaw is open source, this on GitHub. I'll also leave a link to the repo in the description as well too. So all you just simply need to do now, we need to clone OpenClaw into this our Docker container right now. And it's a very simple command. I'm just going to paste that command right here. And if no need to really bother about following everything I'm typing here, I've made this super easy for you to get running. I'll also have a document in the link of this video in the description. You can just simply just follow my documentation and watch the video and follow my steps, and you're good to go. All right, so after we finish doing that, I'm going to hit this. Alright, so our OpenClaw have been cloned into our container right here. So the next step we're going to go through now is we're going to create a project inside our OpenClaw container right now. First of all, we're going to start by setting up the environments. So before we set up the environments, we need to generate what we call a gateway token. So to generate this gateway token, I have a command for this. I'm just going to paste it right here and let's go. All right, so as you can see, a gateway token has been generated, and yeah, I'm not going to be showing this to you guys because this token is very, very essential and important for you not to share with anybody. So at the moment right now, yes, the gateway token is there, but it's all blurred out. So now what do we do next? Now we have generated our gateway token. You need to copy this token and keep it in a very safe place. Keep it in a safe place, keep it in your notes, keep it but somewhere very, very safe. Don't expose it. It's a very, very crucial and important security aspect for your OpenClaw. And if this is just let out there, it could just be people could easily have backdoor access into your OpenClaw AI orchestration. So now that we have copied that, the next thing we need to do now is we need to enter into our env file and we need to do some setups there. So just a sec. All right, so we're just gonna enter into our env file here. Gonna nano env. Wow, that's cool. So now we're here. So now that we're here, we need to set up some environments inside this our env folder right now. And it's very easy. I already have that already in the documentation you're going to see here. So first of all, that's our gateway token we have generated. We need that here, and at the same time we need to also give it a protocol to bind that token to. And the protocol in this case here is just the LAN token. So I'm going to copy some environments right here. I'm gonna add that. So here, perfect. So now I already have my OpenClaw gateway token environment set, and also the OpenClaw gateway bind. We bind it to LAN. So now what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to replace this paste your 64-bit health token with what we have already generated. That's the reason why I said just save it somewhere. It's very important. You're going to have it so handy. So I'm just going to get my token and I'm just going to paste it right here in this section here. All right. And go. Nice. So once that is done, all we need to do now, let's write this file. I'll just say Ctrl O to write, and I hit enter. Then once I'm done with that, Ctrl X to exit, and we are done setting up the environment. Simple, easy peasy like that. So now the next thing we need to do now, we need to lock Docker down to localhost. It's very important. You need to lock it down to the localhost of that virtual machine. So now we are going to move forward and do a couple of edits here that I'll be putting you through right now. All right, so for us to actually edit our Docker Compose or YAML file, all we need to do is follow the same process. We're just gonna nano into it. So, okay, one rule of thumb again, I want you guys to understand, most people that are not, because I understand that people on my channel, I don't really necessarily need you to be very technical. I just need you to just follow the process and you're good to go. So anytime you see me use the word nano is just basically a Linux command for me to just basically edit a file. You know, the way you just go on the document, you can just easily edit document on Word or anything. That's basically a Linux command to edit a file. So anytime you see nano with a file name, it just simply means, oh, enter into the edit of this file, open this file, let me edit this file. That's basically what it is. So once I do that right now, as you can see, I'm inside my docker.yaml file and everything here. Yeah, there's so many things going on here. That's fine, that's good. Now what we're looking forward here is we want to make sure that our gateway ports are bonded to a certain IP address, which is a localhost IP address, which is basically 127.0.0.1. That's basically the IP address for anything that has to do with localhost. 127.0.0.1. So now we're going to be looking for a specific section in this file here, which is the ports file, the ports section actually. So let's keep scrolling down. We should see, yep. So we have seen it, ports. Wonderful. So as you can see, this is our ports section here, and as you can see, our ports is not binded to any localhost right now. So that's what we're just gonna do. So we're just gonna bring our cursor up here to this point, just to this point here, just right before the $sign, and I'm just gonna put that in here. 127.0.0.1, and after that, you're also going to put like a column. Good. And we are good with that. So we'll do the same thing here too as well. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. Let's put out 127, sorry, 127 dot 0 dot 0 dot 1 and put the column again too. So we have basically binded our docker.yaml to our local host. Once you're done with that, now rule of thumb again too, I'm going to give for everyone when you're editing a file. Once you're done editing, first thing you need to do is Control O, which is basically to write the file. And once it will pop up the name again. If you want to edit the name or anything, that's fine, but leave it the way it is. Once this pops up at the bottom here, as you can see, let me just bring my marker here to show you what I'm talking about. Once this pops up, if you notice, this just popped up when I did Control O. So now once that pops up, all you need to do is just press enter. Once you press enter, all you just simply need to just press enter. Once you're done pressing enter, just say Ctrl X, and you're done editing that file, and you're out of there. Wonderful. So we are making headways now. We're making a lot of wonderful headways and strides right now. I wish I had myself like a cup of coffee right now, maybe a cup of something, scintillating. I could have been sipping that right now. But if you do have that right now at the moment, please feel free to be sipping good and just be following this tutorial, because this is so amazing. Like, you can see how you're actually manipulating operating systems right now. So basically, in the aspect of you learning how to install and use OpenClaw, you're basically learning how to navigate the Linux operating system as well too. So it's so amazing. Like, it's just opening your mind. You just feel so, like, I just want to scream. Okay, so let's move forward. So next thing we're going to do now is we're going to create the main OpenClaw config file right now. And it's very simple. We're going to create the file, and we're going to edit it, and we're going to, do some little tweaks there to just make sure that it's conforming to what we're doing. All right, so let's go. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to now make a file, and we're going to use the Linux command for that, which is basically the make directly command. So we're just going to paste that here, as you can see. So this is basically make a directory in my OpenClaw workspace. Enter OpenClaw, my OpenClaw workspace. Once I do that, enter. Yeah, you're meant to not see anything return back to you, but it has actually created that. So now, next we now need to do is that we need to edit that folder right now. And if you have been following everything I've been telling you since, whenever we want to edit a file, what's going to be in front of it? Nano. Simple. So I'm just going to put that again, nano, into our file openclaw.json. And once I do that, I hit enter. It's going to bring me into this section here. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. We are making a very, very good strides in what we're doing right now. So now, once that's all set up, what we need to do now is, if you notice, this file is empty. We have nothing in this file right now. So we need to actually give you some configurations. So I already have a baseline file that you guys can actually use for this section right here. Don't really need to start thinking too much outside the box. And you're also going to find it in the description with all the various commands I've been using all through to get this whole setup all working. So I'm just going to copy this right now and put this into my config file for OpenClaw. Wonderful. So we have our config file for OpenClaw. Very, very important here. One thing I'm just going to add here before I keep moving on, I'm just going to, now if you see the gateway section, local auth tokens, paste your gateway tokens here. And if you remember, as I said, that your gateway token is very important. Save it somewhere so that you can always reference it. So I'm just going to go back and get down my token that I have generated previously, and I'm just going to replace it with what we have in this section here. Let's have our token here. Let's bring the cursor all over here. Cool, cool, cool. Nice. Now I'm just pasting it. All right, So we just cleaned this whole aspect here. Very important. Then paste my key in here. Good. So to save, the same procedure we're going to still use to save. Control O to write it, press enter, then Control X to exit. That's it. So now, my people, we have gone through the whole process of going under the hood to do this setup. So I think now we should start getting into the interesting part of things. Let us now start OpenClaw. Now, we have been talking about OpenClaw, we have been setting it up, we have been doing all the configurations, but we haven't yet gotten into OpenClaw yet. So now, let's get into it. So, to start up OpenClaw, we are just going to do this. Let's copy this command here. I'm just going to copy this command here. I'm just going to put it here. Okay, our gateway, start. Nice. Okay, so I can see here that we have some errors here that have been thrown by we running that last command. So from my check so far, what I've been able to deduce is that we have some certain files, not per se some files, but some certain environments we haven't yet set up in our env when we are setting up OpenClaw. So to do that right now, as I said, I'm going to make this so easy for all of you because I've done the research just for you guys to just implement. So to do that, I'm just going to copy out this command. This command is also going to be in the document I'll be sending over as well, and paste it here, and this should solve our problem. Good. So now once that is done, next thing I'm just going to do, just to confirm that everything is all good, I'm just going to do like a cat for the env and put it here. And now let's check. Yes, we have our token set, our LAN band, and OpenClaw config directly. Beautiful. OpenClaw workspace directly. Good. So if you notice, when we set this up before, we only did just this two in the env. So what stopped us from starting up OpenClaw was because we had these two missing directories here, which needed to be added. So now we have added that, and we should be able to start OpenClaw effortlessly right now after this config. Alright, so that is done. So let us move ahead and start OpenClaw again, and let us see what we have right now. We should be able to have OpenClaw start up with no issues moving forward. So let's do this. Hit enter. Wonderful. Okay. Oh wow, we're having an error right here. Okay, so from what we can see here, we seem to be having a build issue. So let us try this other route right now. So let us try to build up our Docker container again with this OpenClaw installed again, because we've been trying to see how it's trying to actually install OpenClaw from what it's seeing locally, trying to pull the container, but it's actually having quite back and forth with that. So I'm just going to give it this command here, so we can be able to build the OpenClaw gateway again. And let's go. All right, fine. All right, guys. So we have been able to fully build out our OpenClaw image using Docker. So now let's move forward to starting our OpenClaw right now. So I'm just gonna copy this command right here and put this in my terminal. Don't really need to bother, cramming out the commands I'm actually putting out here. I'm going to be dropping the resources in the link, so you can be able to just follow them through with the video and just install your OpenClaw easy peasy. So let's move ahead. I'm just gonna copy this command right here for me to start my OpenClaw. And all the steps that we have done all the way so far has been good. We should be able to start up OpenClaw easily with this command. Perfect. All right, so our container has started. As you can see from my terminal right here, you can see that our network for OpenClaw is actually set to default. Volume for OpenClaw, our plugins runtime is also being created as well. our container for our OpenClaw gateway as well has also been started. So we are good to go on that whole aspect. So very important, let us check the health. Checking the health just simply means just making sure that everything is running the way that they should. And for us to do that, there's just a very simple command that we're going to use, and we're going to be using Docker commands to do this. And I'm just going to paste those commands in my terminal right now, and let's go. Nice. So as you can see so far, let's go through this is basically the logs. Let me just, in fact, the whole rule of thumb here is this, for you guys to just understand, is whenever you want to know if anything is wrong with your OpenClaw, or you just simply want to know how your OpenClaw is behaving, all you just simply need to do is just to run this command right here that I just did. That's just basically showing us the health so far for our Docker, for our OpenClaw. So far so good. So far so good. You can see that our gateways have been started, but I'm seeing some errors here already. Like for instance, we can highlight this error here, which is basically our gateway persist plugin auto renew changes. There's an error here, and we have a couple of errors as well too. So we're going to flesh out these errors, we're going to fix that, and we're going to run this health again to make sure that everything's all working perfectly fine. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fix these issues right now that we noticed from this our logs. And from what we have seen so far, is we are just basically having permission issues for OpenClaw. And basically, OpenClaw needs to have access to rights to those particular folders in order for it to perform the tasks that it needs to perform. So what we're just going to do right here, I have a very simple one-shot command that we're just going to use to fix this issue, and we're going to run this health test again so that we can be able to know if everything is working perfectly fine before we move on to the other aspects of this tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this command, and as I said, any commands that I'm using, feel free to just check the resources I'll be leaving in the description. Just follow them through and you'll be good to go on that. All right, so that is done right now. So as we're done with this whole process right now, the next thing we need to do is let's reconfirm our health again to make sure that if everything that we have done has been fixed, the permission issues have been fixed. So it's still the same command that we used before to check the health, just that same command, just copy and paste it, and let's run that check again. And let's go through our logs one more time to see if those issues have been fixed. Alright, so from the log so far, this looks a bit better, but yes, we still have some issues here. Yeah, we can see that we're having some errors here from Telegram, most especially, and this should be obvious because of all the while we have been installing, we have still yet to actually connect our Telegram bots in order for us to have that communication with OpenClaw. So the means in which we're going to be communicating with OpenClaw, how you can be able to have your agent on the go, there are various methods you can be able to use to connect to your agents. You could use either WhatsApp, you could use your Slack, you could use iMessage, you could use Discord, you could use Telegram. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using Telegram. The reason why I'm going with Telegram is because Telegram is a much more versatile use cases, because most people have Telegram, and Telegram has a lot of support for all of these bot interfaces. And if I'm to actually put it on a much more higher tier of communication, I would say the next best move is for you to use Discord. But Discord is kind of a little bit complicated to set up. I will be talking about that in my next video. I'll show you guys a walkthrough of how you can be able to connect also to Discord, because Discord has way more functionalities. But for the sake of this video, for you guys to get your OpenClaw up and running, we're going to be using Telegram. And I will show you guys now in the next step how you can be able to set up your Telegram. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up our Telegram communication channel for OpenClaw. So for us to do that, it's a very straightforward process. There are majorly two things you need. One, you need your bot token, and two, we need your Telegram user ID. These are very important, and I will list out the process for you to do this in the project description that I'm going to leave in the comments in the description of this video. You can go through the steps on how you can get your bot ID and how you can be able to get your user ID at the same time too. Now, once you have this information, now we have to go back into our OpenClaw.json file so we can make some edits. So we're going to go over here to OpenClaw.json file here. Let me just open that real quick. If you remember, we were at this section before. So now I'm just going to head over to the line that has to do with our Telegram. So now you can see over here, we have our section for our Telegram, where you can be able to see, okay, your Telegram user ID and your Telegram, wherever we're going to do all our communications with Telegram, to set up in this section here. Now, once you're in your OpenClaw.json file, we are looking for a section that has to do with bot token. So if you scroll down here, you'll be able to see a section that has to do with bot token here. So all we simply need to do is to replace what we have here in this context with our bot token that you've already generated using bot father from Telegram. So I'm just going to clean up this section here and paste this. Nice. And that's my bot token there. Obviously, I'm not going to be showing this for you guys to see because this is my personal bot token. But once you have yours, just replace it in this section here. Alright, so next is for us to add our Telegram user ID. So our Telegram user ID is just basically how OpenClaw can be able to identify where it can be able to respond to messages, where it can be able to take commands from and actually actualize those commands. So you don't end up at the end of the day your bot is just free roaming and every other person can just easily be communicating with your bot. You don't really want that. So your Telegram ID in this file here just locks your Telegram bot to your own OpenClaw instance. So I will just go ahead here and just add my Telegram user ID in all the sections where we have it pre-filled, and obviously still I'm not going to be showing this information to you guys, but just replace it with your own IDs. I'll do the same thing here too. Right, so I'm gonna keep checking. Everyone will see any section that has any place we need to put in our Telegram ID. Nice. So approvals at the same time too. Telegram ID here. Okay. All right. All right. Perfect. So I think we have all the variables in place for Telegram. All right, we are good. All right, so with all those informations all set, next all you need to do now is to save this file. And as I've showed you guys before, the easiest way to save is Ctrl-O to write the folder, hit enter, then Ctrl-X to exit, and you're good. So now that we are done with that, next that we need to do is for us to let's run again our checks for our health again to see how our health are doing so far that we have made this update. So I'm just gonna copy this command right here and I'm just gonna paste it. So let's go. All right. So now let's check if we're still seeing any issues that has to do with Telegram again. So as you can see from our logs, we are not having issues that have to do with Telegram again. Yes, we still have some warnings here and there, but as we are moving, we're going to iron out all these warnings. But our main issue with Telegram has been fixed so far, so we are good to go when it comes to our Telegram connection. So this is a huge win for all of us, and I want you guys to just give yourself a tap on the back if you've made it this far. I said that this video is going to be a long video, but it's quite interesting because of we are learning together and we are building something incredible together at the same time too. So all right, so our Telegram channel has been connected. So now let's get to the important part right now for setting up OpenClaw. So just a brief rundown, we have been able to set up our VPS. We have also been able to install our OpenClaw. We built it and we started it using Docker, and we have also given it a communication channel, which is Telegram. So now, most importantly is this: we need to give our OpenClaw a brain where it can be able to pull and have enough knowledge and context to increase its intelligence and keep growing as you keep interacting with it. And the only way that we can be able to give our OpenClaw instances a brain is by connecting it to an LLM. Now, there are various LLMs out there, and for me, if I'm to recommend the best out there, that would be Claude Code. Claude Code is the best. It's very agentic. It's super awesome when you combine it with OpenClaw. But the downside with Claude Code is the fact that if you don't really have enough finances to support that, it's quite expensive, paying over $200 a month. And from even my research I've done recently, I'm beginning to see that Anthropic is actually beginning to loosen up the usage of using their models with OpenClaw. So they want you to go the API routes, which is way more expensive. So I'm going to guide you guys on my own setup, how I have made my own OpenClaw setup very, very economical friendly by using Codex. So all you simply need to do is for you to have a ChatGPT account. You could go for the Pro plan, or the Plus plan. The Plus plan is quite very, very good as well too. The Plus plan will run you like around $20, or in Naira that would be around 31 to 32,000 Naira a month. So now, once you have that subscription, you have access to Codex. And now I'm going to show you guys how we can be able to connect your Codex CLI to OpenClaw. And with that, all you just simply need to do is just pay your normal subscription every month, and you have access to all the bells and whistles that Codex can offer for it to be the main brain for your OpenClaw. But if you're able to afford, the higher tiers of using Claude Code, the API usage and everything, feel free to go with that. I would highly recommend that because it's quite very agentic and it's quite very, very smarter than all the models that we have out there. All right, so with that said, let's dive into this. So we're going to use this command right here. As I said, so this command is also going to be in my cheat sheet, and it's going to be in the description as well too. So we're just going to use this command right here. Paste it. So basically this command is that we just want to enter into a shell inside our Docker container where we can be able to run a CLI commands. So once we do that, now if you notice, you see a $sign there, which is quite fine. So now we have the ability to start running commands. So the first thing I'm going to do here is that I'm going to make a directory inside my OpenClaw container, and I'm just going to call that Codex. Oh wow, I'm going to do that again because of I actually made a mistake there. That's fine. Let's call it Codex. Now the next thing we're going to do, let us set up our config file system for Codex as well too, that OpenClaw can be able to pull from every time he wants to run. That's fine, that worked. Now the most important part, now we need to log into our Codex or ChatGPT account. It's basically a ChatGPT account. You just need to log into it so that OpenClaw can have access to utilize Codex as its brain. So we're just going to give it this command here, which is Codex login, and it's going to bring us into this. Okay, so you can see that we're having quite an issue saying Codex is not found. So let's try a different route that we can use to install Codex. So we're going to use the npx route. I'm still going to have this command in the cheat sheet as well too. Let's try that and let's see what we get from here. Okay, this seems to be working. Yep, it's working. This is perfect now. So now we have got into the setup for Codex right now inside our OpenClaw container. So it's a very simple process. All you simply need to do is just click on the link. Once you click on the link that you see here that you have on your screen, it will take you over to your ChatGPT account where you can be able to log in using this code. And once you put in your code is not going to be obviously the same thing that you're seeing here on my screen. Your code is going to be different. Once you put in your code, you should be able to log into your Codex account, and OpenClaw will be able to have access to it. So let me just do that now off screen real quick, and let's get back to it. All right, so I've signed in successfully into my Codex, and as you can see from my screen right here, you can see it's successfully logged in, NPN noticed, everything's all good. So now just one last thing I like to do, just to keep everything all peachy, I like to just do a little verification just to make sure that every configuration I've done for Codex is actually verified. So I do this, which is just basically checking my directory, and I can see the files for Codex is already there, created today. That's good. So now let's also check the authentication file again too for Codex as well. Let's do that, paste it. All right, perfect, it's also there. Then finally, let's just check what version of Codex we are on. Let's do that. Wonderful. So Codex is installed on this our OpenClaw container successfully, and OpenClaw can be able to talk to Codex effortlessly. So now I'm just going to exit out of here. Now, after we've exited, it's very important, let us now restart our gateway so that all the configurations we have done will all just get all synced up. So let's do that. All right, so looking at our logs, I can see that everything is all peachy here now. So in conclusion, we have been able to, first of all, build our OpenClaw image with Docker. We have been able to install and start our OpenClaw. We also were able to connect our OpenClaw to our Telegram account, and at the same time too, we were able to connect our OpenClaw to our Codex account, which is the brain. So in conclusion, now we have a full working system, and now you're going to see how Codex and OpenClaw works together with our Telegram bot channel right now, which concludes this whole tutorial of how OpenClaw actually works and the whole setup and configuration of OpenClaw. So as you can see, we have already done the setup, and now I'm chatting with my chatbot right now. Now I'm giving an instruction for it to book me an appointment, and you're going to see how the interaction is so fluid. It basically answers naturally, even with the same tone or the identity that you want to give it, and it's so straightforward. So I'm giving it the task right now for it to book me an appointment with me and Jennifer for 2 p.m. and it's going to just be able to look through it and be able to connect to my calendar and book this appointment all seamlessly without me even doing anything at all. It makes the whole process so seamless and so dynamic, connecting to my apps, and it's so incredible. Now imagine you using this to do much more complex tasks like managing your whole appointments, like even your virtual assistants, even documentations and all whatnot. It's so powerful and agentic to do all of those things. And it all just starts with you following the steps in the video as I showed you, and you have your own bot all set up and communicating with it on Telegram as seamless as this. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace and God bless.